Hello, and welcome back to the Cozy English Podcast. My name is Melody, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Avery.
Hi, Melody, and hello to all our listeners. It's so good to be back for another episode. How was your week?
It was great. Thanks for asking. I tried a new recipe for lemon cake. It was delicious. How about you?
Ooh, that sounds amazing. My week was good. I spent a lot of time reading a new book. It was hard to put down. I was like a student with a really interesting assignment.
That's funny you mention that. Being a student, it actually connects perfectly to our topic for today.
It does, doesn't it? That's right, everyone. Today we're talking about student life. We're going to discuss everything from classes and homework to exams and social life.
Exactly. Whether you are a student now, were a student in the past, or are just curious, we think you'll find this conversation helpful for your English practice.
So let's start at the beginning. Melody, what does a typical day for a university student look like?
Well, it often starts early. Many students have to wake up for an early morning class. I remember having a class at 8 a.m. It was tough to get out of bed sometimes.
Oh, I will that feeling. So you wake up, get ready, and head to your first class. A student's day is organized by their schedule, right?
Yes, the schedule is very important. A schedule is the plan for your week. It shows you what class you have, at what time, and in which room.
Right. And in university, you often have different kinds of classes. The most common one is a lecture.
A lecture can be a new word for some listeners. Could you explain what a lecture is, Avery?
Of course. A lecture is a type of class where a teacher, who is often called a professor at university, stands at the front of a large room and talks about a subject. The students listen and take notes.
That's a great explanation. So you might have a few lectures in the morning. For example, a biology lecture, then maybe a math class.
Exactly. A different class for each subject. What was your favorite subject when you were a student?
I really loved psychology. I found it fascinating to learn about how the human mind works. The lectures for that subject were always my favorite. What about you?
Psychology is very cool. For me, it was literature. I loved reading books and discussing them. My teacher for my literature class was so passionate, and it made the whole class more exciting.
A good teacher makes such a big difference, doesn't it?
It really does. A teacher can make a difficult subject feel easy and a boring subject feel interesting.
I had a math teacher who was very strict. She gave a lot of homework, but she was also incredibly helpful. If you didn't understand something, she would take the time to explain it after class.
That's the best kind of teacher. Speaking of homework, that's a huge part of student life. After your classes are done for the day, the work isn't over.
Not at all. There is always homework or an assignment to do. Let's explain those words. Homework is the work a teacher gives you to do at home.
And an assignment is similar. It's a task or a piece of work that you are assigned. It could be an essay, a presentation, or a project. Every class will have assignments.
That's right. So after a day of lectures, a student needs to find a place to study and do all that homework. Where did you usually study, Avery?
I was a library person. I needed total quiet to concentrate. I would find a nice corner in the library, put on my headphones with some quiet music, and just focus on my assignment.
I was the same. The library was my second home. It has so many books and resources, and being around other students who are also studying can be very motivating.
Definitely. But some of my classmates prefer to study in coffee shops or in their own rooms. Everyone has a different style.
That's true. The important thing is to have good study habits. One habit I found very useful was to review my notes every evening, even just for 15 minutes. It helped me remember what the teacher said in the lecture that day.
That is a fantastic habit. It makes studying for the big tests, the exams, so much easier.
Yes, we should definitely talk about exams. That's a word every student knows very well. An exam is a formal test you take to show how much you have learned about a subject.
And exams can be very stressful, especially final exams, which happen at the end of a semester.
Right. A semester is a period of the school year, usually about 4 to 5 months long. At the end of each semester, you have a week or two of big exams.
It's a lot of pressure. All of your homework and all of the lectures for that subject are building up to that one big exam. How did you manage the stress of final exams?
I am a big fan of making a study plan. About 2 or 3 weeks before my exams, I would sit down and make a schedule. I would write down which subject I was going to study each day and for how long.
That's a great idea. Being organized really helps to reduce stress. It makes a huge amount of work feel more manageable. I used to do something similar. I would break down each big assignment into smaller little tasks.
That's another excellent tip. Instead of thinking, I have to write a 10-page paper, you can think, today I will just write the introduction. It makes it much less scary.
Exactly. And taking breaks is also key. You can't study for 8 hours straight. Your brain needs rest. Go for a walk, listen to music, talk to a friend.
Yes, that brings us to another important part of student life, the social part. It's not all about class and homework.
Thank goodness. Yes, your classmates are a big part of the experience. I made some of my best friends at university.
Me too. And your classmates can also be your study partners. I found studying with friends to be very helpful sometimes.
It can be. If you get stuck on a difficult homework problem, you can ask your friend for help, or you can explain a topic to them, which is a great way to check if you really understand it.
Totally. You and your classmates are all on the same team. You have the same teacher, the same assignments, and the same exams. It's nice to support each other.
And beyond studying, there are clubs, sports, and events. A balanced student life means making time for your social life, not just your class schedule.
I couldn't agree more. Those friendships and memories are just as important as the grades you get on an exam.
So to summarize, student life is a mix of many things. You have a schedule to follow with different classes and subjects.
You attend lectures where a teacher explains new ideas. Then you have homework and assignments to complete on your own.
And at the end of the semester, you have to prepare for the big final exams, which can be stressful.
But you also have your classmates and friends to support you, study with you, and have fun with. It's a busy but exciting time.
That was a really great conversation, Melody. I feel like we've painted a very clear picture of student life.
I think so too. And we used a lot of very useful vocabulary for our listeners. Let's do a quick recap of some of the key phrases.
Good idea. We mentioned the class and subject. A subject is what you study, like math or history. A class is a specific meeting where you learn that subject.
We also talked about a lecture, which is a class where the teacher does most of the talking, and the teacher at a university is often called a professor.
Then there's homework and assignment. Those are the tasks you have to do outside of class, and your classmates are the other students in your class.
And finally, the big ones, exam and semester. The semester is the school term, and the exam is the big test at the end of it. Your schedule helps you keep track of it all.
That's a perfect summary. Now, for our listeners, we have a little homework for you. Don't worry, there's no exam.
That's right. We encourage you to practice. Try to describe your own school day or a typical day if you're not a student. You can write it down or just say it out loud. Try to use some of the words we talked about today, like schedule, class, or assignment.
It's a great way to practice and build your confidence. And we have a question for you all. Tell us in the comments, what is your favorite subject? Or if you're not a student, what was your favorite subject in school?
We would love to read your answers. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode of Cozy English Podcast, please don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with a friend.
It helps our podcast grow and reach more English learners just like you. Thank you so much for listening today.
It was a pleasure. We'll be back next week with another cozy conversation. Until then, happy learning. Bye, everyone.
Bye.